Hi everyone, hope you all are doing really well. So this is different questions regarding like we have a couple of project explanations and the project descriptions video. But this is very common questions wherein Selenium exceptions to playwright exceptions. I think if you're 5-6 years old and you're working on a playwright, and I think this new year resolutions you should be knowing Cypress and playwright as well. So Selenium exceptions we all know, but playwright exceptions we hardly know like the real time what we face. So we're gonna cover that playwright exceptions and the comparisons between both. For what purpose? I think there are common scenarios in both of them, but I think playwright tool is also a great tool too if you're working with APIs. So in the playwright, you can see all the transactions, what is happening, every single minute details in the playwright. So basically we do API automations with playwright, so that really help you out to understand how your transactions goes and how you can validate the results in the response. I think playwright is very good when you are starting working with APIs. So let's dig into this video and understand the exceptions and how the exceptions occurs and what all exactly the exceptions occur. So this is basically questions in Selenium exceptions, like list all 5 exceptions in Selenium. You have to list, you have to tell them. But now they are asking about the playwright as well. This is very common interview questions, and let's gonna discuss about that. So introductions and overview of Selenium and playwright exceptions, highlighting the key difference and the similarity for the comprehensive analysis. So let's dig into Selenium exceptions. There are no such element exceptions. So I'll be going a little fast in Selenium exceptions and we'll be having a little pause and understand about the playwright exceptions. So these exceptions occur when the locators, XPath, CSS selector, etc. we mentioned in the Selenium program code is unable to find with the web element on the web page. Okay. And then we have element not visible exceptions, no such frame exceptions, and how you can figure it out, that you can learn it. I'll have a couple of videos on exception as well, so you can refer that. So yeah, we also have a checked and unchecked exceptions, custom exceptions. That is also you can read it out. So this exceptions occurs when the locators, ID, XPath, CSS selector, etc. we have provided in the Selenium program code. It's trying to find out the web element which is hidden from the displaying on the page. Okay, so no such frame exceptions. So when we have a frame, iframes, when we work with iframes, so this will also exceptions occur. So iframe is a HTML web frames inside another HTML web page. In order to work with the web elements on any frames, we have to first switch to the iframe in the Selenium and then locate the respective web element inside that iframe. So no alert present exceptions. So alert is a type of pop-up which pop-ups to provide important information to users. In order to work with alert pop-ups, we have to first switch to the alert and then perform the operations on alert, like reading the message on the alerts or accepting the alert, pressing OK button on the alert, etc. Okay, so no such window exceptions, as a Selenium only automates web applications, so we will be mostly dealing with the browser windows. So browser windows, the square box in a browser is generally displays by the web pages in it. Session not found exceptions. So this exceptions will occur when the driver is trying to perform operations on the web applications after the browser is closed. Then we have timeout exceptions, which is very common. I think timeout will be there in playwright as well. So this exceptions happens when a command takes longer to complete than a wait time. So waits are mostly utilized in WebDriver to avoid the exceptions like element not visible exceptions, error. These kind of error comes when there's a timeout. Now here come with the playwright exceptions. Okay, so I think Selenium exceptions most of the people know. So I don't want to waste the time, so I was going a little forward since we have to cover that exception as well to understand the difference between both the exceptions. So now we have a playwright exceptions is thrown when certain operations are terminated abnormally. Okay, browser closes while page.evaluate is running. All playwright exception inherit from this class. So this is very important. So all the playwright exceptions is inherited from page.evaluate class. This is very important in playwright. So then we have timeout exceptions, which inherits the error, is emitted whenever certain operations are terminated due to timeout. So timeout or error, we also see it into the Selenium also. So timeout occurs when the operation does not complete within the specified time. So this is very important thing, that timeout error occurs in both. Then we have select error, arise when a provided selector does not match any elements. Then we have page error, wherein so we have page error, wherein represents error related to the actions or interactions within the page. So at times when there is interaction within the page, and if that doesn't happens properly, then we have a page error. Then we have request, then we have a frame error. A frame error, then we have switched to frame error, right? We have discussed about the Selenium in the same frame not found exception. Then we have this one, then occurs when dealing with frames or iframes and an operation cannot be executed. When the operations is not able to execute, then we have a frame error. Request failed error, represent failure in network request or response handling. So when your request got failed, it will be request failed error due to some server, or it is not handling properly when you have 500 something. So then it will request fail error. Then we have route handler error, represent errors when handling routes or intercepting network requests. So when you have something like fed proxy and everything, when you use it, right? So it will be like route handle error. Okay. And then we have browser context error, arises when there are issues related to browser context, such as creating or manipulating them. So when you have to create or like open the browsers and you have to do some actions in browser, then we have browser context error. Binding call error occurs when there is a issues with function calls or bindings with the Playwright API. Then we have worker error, represents error occur within the worker or thread in the Playwright executions environment. I think these are the errors. We mostly have errors in not in exceptions in Playwright. So I think that is all. I think very easy, but I think the Playwright, it's a very new tool, and I have seen that a lot of people are learning with learning Playwright tool, and this video really helped them out in finding out the exceptions. We'll be having more video on Playwright. So the best practices for exception handling in Selenium highlighted and Playwright emphasize proactive measures to enhance test stability and robustness. So you can also have a methods which you can catch the exceptions and work out with them. And yeah, now we have a conclusions summarizing the key findings and insights from comparative analysis of Selenium and Playwright exceptions and their implications for the test automation strategies. Now thank you all. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye. Happy learning.